Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Leibovit from the Leibovit VR newsletters, and this is a Leibovit VR tutorial here on Esignal for Monday morning, February 23rd. Leibovit Volume Reversal VR newsletters provide several opportunities. As you may know, we have our Silver package, which is our general market commentary, our Platinum, which provides specific recommendations, our Leibovit VR Gold letter covering several commodities, including gold and silver and oil and so forth. The Forecaster is our annual forecasting model, our cyclical model, which comes out every year in February, currently available. Our new Vice letter covering all kinds of Vice stocks, including the new cannabis shares, and our classic book, The Definitive Guide to Volume Trading, The Trader's Book of Volume. Here on eSignal, we have the Leibovit Volume Reversal available. There is a 1-month free trial. It's $99 a month thereafter. The Leibovit VR incorporates 3 versions. We demonstrate the sequential version here, which posts all the Leibovit VRs. There is a directional version, which filters out repetitive VRs, and we have a 2-day version, which is based on the premise that following a volume reversal, negative or positive, you tend to get movement in that direction for a couple of days. So we created a 2-day version for you to check out. There's a little video on the eSignal website here that you could, not here to activate, but at the eSignal website that you could check out, which summarizes those in a little more detail. We're looking at Fireeye this morning, just as an example of how the VR can be put to work and has worked. In the most recent upsurge in Fireeye, we had a nice Leibovit VR ahead of the move. We had a rising stochastic. Part of our theory is, and you could use any momentum indicator, but I use a 533 stochastic as a general guideline. If it's rising, I'm more inclined to take the VR than not. If it's positive, negative VR, the same thing, you would want to see it declining. So in this example, you would have been long. You would have been long here a couple of weeks ago. You would have been long here for at least a day or two. Not every VR is going to give you 5-day moves, but you can see there's a nice correlation here in follow through. So what's happening? Buyers are coming in versus sellers, and there's momentum. And if you're a trader, particularly with a stock like Fireeye, which can move several points a day, you've got a lot of upside potential. Just to give you an idea of how not to use it, here's a Leibovit negative VR. Back on January 6th, we had a rising stochastic, so I would have not been inclined to take that trade. Also, in view of the fact that Fireeye had declined for several days into that point. Ideally, you like to catch a positive VR of some type of little bottom and a negative VR off a top. Let's look at the weekly chart, because we can change time frames here. And on the weekly, you can see there was some nice follow through as well for a week or so, or sometimes several weeks after a VR. In this case, you had positive VR, so you've been playing it, way back here last May. We had a negative VR here in July, declining stochastic, so several weeks to the downside. Then we had 2-3 weeks to the upside here beginning in August, so forth and so on. There seems to be a very nice correlation here, and you definitely want to use this indicator as part of your normal trading, or at least to try to incorporate it with everything else that you're doing. So thank you again for checking in. This is Mark Leibovit at the Leibovit VR newsletters, and don't forget to sign up here at eSignal if you have not done so. Thanks, and we'll talk to you on our next recording. We will be, by the way, at the Traders Expo in New York on March 1st, 2nd, doing a little workshop, actually 2 workshops. So please stop by if you're in New York and you're attending the Traders Expo.